Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Native Echo Podcast, where we make English simple and enjoyable. I am Harper. Hello to all of our wonderful listeners, wherever you are in the world right now. I am so glad you are here with me today. So, I want to start with something that happened to me a few weeks ago. I was going through some old photos on my phone. You know how that goes. You just pick up your phone to check a message, and suddenly, 40 minutes later, you are deep in pictures from 3 years ago. And I found this photo of me and an old friend. We used to meet every single week for coffee. Every Sunday, same cafe, same table by the window. And then life got busy. I got busy. I kept thinking, I will call her next week. Next week became next month. Next month became next year. And then one day I realized I hadn't spoken to her in almost 2 years. I sat there looking at that photo, and I felt something really specific. Not sadness exactly, not anger, something quieter than that. Something that sits in your chest and does not go away quickly. And I think most of you know exactly what I am talking about. That feeling has a name. It is called regret. And today, that is what we are going to talk about. Regret. How to express it in English. How native speakers actually say it. Not from a textbook, not in a stiff, formal way, but the real, honest, human way that people use when they are sitting with a feeling they wish they did not have. Because here's the thing about regret. It is one of the most universal human experiences. Every single person listening to me right now has felt it. Maybe it was something small, like ordering the wrong thing at a restaurant. Maybe it was something much bigger, like a relationship you let slip away, or a chance you did not take, or something you said that you wish you could take back. Regret does not care about size. It just sits there. And being able to talk about it in English, honestly and naturally, that is something really valuable. So let us start with the most basic way to express regret in English. And I think the most important phrase, the one that feels the most natural, is simply this: I wish I had. I wish I had called her sooner. I wish I had studied harder. I wish I had taken that job offer. Do you hear how that works? I wish, and then the past. You are looking back at something. You are saying, at that moment, I made a different choice. And now, from here, I wish the choice had been different. I wish I had is beautiful because it is honest without being dramatic. It does not say, I am a terrible person. It just says, looking back, I see things differently now. Now, there is a very similar one. I should have. I should have called her. I should have said something. I should have stayed a little longer. I should have is a little stronger. It carries a sense of responsibility. Like you knew, or maybe you should have known that this was the right thing to do, and you did not do it. So you did not do it. So there is a tiny bit more weight in I should have compared to I wish I had. But both are very natural. Both are things you will hear people say all the time. Let me give you a few more examples so you can really feel the difference. I wish I had listened to my parents when I was younger. I should have listened to my parents when I was younger. Do you feel it? The first one is softer. The second one feels a little more like an admission. Like, yes, that was my responsibility and I missed it. Now, here is one that people use a lot in conversation. I regret. As a verb. I regret not spending more time with my grandmother. I regret saying those words. I regret not taking that chance when I had it. I regret is a little more formal. You would hear it in writing or in a serious conversation. But it is still very natural, and it is important to know. Actually, listeners, let me pause here for a second. Can you think of one small thing you regret in the last year? Not something heavy necessarily. It could be as simple as, I regret not sleeping earlier last night. I regret not trying that new restaurant before it closed. Really think about it and try to put it into a sentence using I regret, or I wish I had, or I should have. Just one sentence. Hold it in your head for a moment. Because using a word in your own life, connected to your own feelings, that is how it really sticks. Okay, let us keep going. Another phrase I really love is if only. If only I had more time. If only I had said something different. If only I had known then what I know now. If only is a little more emotional. It has a longing feeling, like you were standing at the edge of something and looking back across a distance. If only is what people say when they feel the regret quite deeply. It is poetic in a way. You hear it in songs, in movies, in books, but you also hear it in real conversations between people being honest with each other. If only I had trusted my instincts. If only I had reached out sooner. If only things had been different. These are real things people say. Now I want to talk about something a little different, because expressing regret is not just about the past. Sometimes we feel regret about things in the present, things that are still happening. And for that, English has a slightly different structure. We say, I wish things were different, or I wish I could change this. Not I wish things had been different, because that is the past. But I wish things were different, meaning right now, today, I feel this way. I wish I were in a better place. I wish I could go back and do that again. I wish the situation were not so complicated. Do you notice the were? Not was. I wish I were. This is one of those grammar points that trips a lot of people up. And honestly, even native speakers sometimes say was instead of were in casual conversation. But in more careful speech, in writing, in formal situations, we say, I wish I were. It is called the subjunctive, a special form of the verb that English uses to talk about things that are not real, things that are imagined, wished for, or hypothetical. Do not stress about remembering the name subjunctive. Just remember this pattern. I wish I were. I wish it were. I wish she were. And you will sound very natural. Let me give you a few full sentences so you can hear it in action. I wish I were better at keeping in touch with people. I wish this situation were easier. I wish I were the kind of person who says what they feel. These all sound completely natural, and they all carry that gentle, honest weight of regret. Now, let us talk about something slightly different, but very connected. Sometimes when we feel regret, we also want to apologize. And apologizing in English is its own beautiful world. But the apology that comes from regret has a specific feeling to it. It is not just sorry, it is something deeper. One phrase that native speakers use a lot is, I owe you an apology. This is warmer and more personal than just saying sorry. It means, I recognize that I did something that affected you, and I want to take responsibility for that. I owe you an apology for disappearing like that. I owe you an apology for not being more understanding. Another one is, I am truly sorry for. Not just sorry, truly sorry. The word truly adds sincerity. It tells the other person that this is not just a polite formula. You actually mean it. I am truly sorry for the way things ended. I am truly sorry for not being there when you needed me. And there is another phrase that people use when they want to express both regret and apology at the same time. Please forgive me for. Please forgive me for not reaching out sooner. Please forgive me for the things I did not say. This one is quite vulnerable. It is asking something of the other person. It is an open hand, and it takes courage to say it. Let me also mention a very common conversational expression. If I could do it all over again. This is something people say when they are reflecting on something and they feel they would choose differently. If I could do it all over again, I would have said yes. If I could do it all over again, I would have been more patient. If I could do it all over again, I would have taken more risks. This phrase is so useful because it shows reflection. It shows growth. It tells the other person, I have thought about this. I have sat with it, and I have learned something from it. Now, I want to share something more personal, because I think learning English is actually more powerful when it is connected to something real. A few years ago, I had an opportunity to move to another city for work. It was something I had always wanted: a new place, a new start, an exciting project. And I said no. I thought, the timing is not right. I thought, maybe next time. I thought, I am not ready. And for a long time after that, I carried this feeling. Not constantly, not every day, but it was there, sitting quietly in the background. A small voice saying, "What if?" What if? That is another expression connected to regret. What if I had said yes? What if things had been different? What if I had just tried? What if is the question you ask when you are imagining an alternative version of your life, the road you did not take, the door you did not open. And here is the thing I eventually learned about that feeling. Regret, when you sit with it honestly, can actually teach you something. It shows you what matters to you. Because we do not regret the things we did not care about. We regret the things that touched something real inside us. The things that were connected to our values, our love, our hope. So in a strange way, regret is actually pointing towards something important. I did not move to that city, and eventually I stopped asking what if. But I did make a promise to myself. Next time an opportunity comes that really means something to me, I will not wait until I feel completely ready. Because honestly, I do not think that moment ever comes. You just have to take a breath and say yes. And I think that is the healthiest relationship you can have with regret. You feel it, you name it, you learn from it, and then, carefully, gently, you let it go. In English, there are a few phrases for that too. I have made peace with it. This means you have accepted something that once bothered you. You are no longer fighting against it. I have made peace with my decision. I have made peace with how things turned out. Or, I have let it go, which means you have released the feeling. You are no longer holding on to it. I have let it go. It took time, but I have let it go. And a beautiful one: I have no regrets. This does not always mean you think everything was perfect. Sometimes it means you have accepted everything that happened as part of your journey. I have no regrets. Everything that happened made me who I am today. That is a powerful thing to be able to say. Okay, listeners, before we do the recap, I want to ask you something, and I would love for you to answer in the comments. Think about one thing you are glad you did not regret. One moment where you took a risk, or said something honest, or stayed when it was easier to go. What was that moment? What did you choose? Tell us in the comments. In English, if you can. Even one sentence. Because practicing English with real feelings, real memories, that is where the real learning happens. Now, let us do the recap. The key phrases from today. I wish I had. Use this when you look back at a past situation and feel you would have chosen differently. I wish I had called sooner. I wish I had stayed longer. I should have. Stronger than I wish I had. Carries a sense of responsibility. I should have been more patient. I should have said something when I had the chance. I regret. More formal. Used in writing or serious conversation. I regret not taking that opportunity. I regret the things I left unsaid. If only. Emotional and longing. If only things had been different. If only I had known. I wish things were different. For present feelings, not past. I wish I were in a better place right now. I wish things were easier. I owe you an apology. Warm and personal. More powerful than just sorry. I owe you an apology for disappearing like that. I am truly sorry for. Sincere and direct. I am truly sorry for not being there. If I could do it all over again. Reflective. Shows growth. If I could do it all over again, I would have said yes. What if? The question of regret. the road not taken? What if I had stayed? What if I had tried? I have made peace with it. Acceptance. Release. I have made peace with how things turned out, and I have no regrets. Full acceptance. Everything that happened is part of my story. Those are your words for today. Sit with them. Use them. Write them down if that helps. And most importantly, connect them to something real in your life. Because language lives inside experience, not inside a textbook. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I really mean that. Every single one of you who shows up and listens, you are doing something brave. Learning a new language is not easy, but you keep coming back, and that means everything. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to Native Echo Podcast and give us a like. It helps us reach more learners just like you. Share this with someone who is learning English. Or honestly, share it with someone who needs a quiet reminder that it is okay to feel regret, and then let it go. I will see you in the next episode. Take care of yourselves. And remember, the fact that you feel regret about something only means that you cared, and caring is never the wrong thing to do. Bye, everyone.